Hey everyone, it's Stephanie from Guiding Force Consulting, and today I want to talk with you about one of my absolute favorite topics, and that is volunteer management. I think I start every single one of these recordings with this is my favorite topic because a lot of what we do is just really fun. But I do truly love working with volunteers, and so I just wanted to share a couple tips of things I've learned over the years working with volunteers and managing volunteers that might help you as you navigate this interesting time where things don't look like they normally would as you engage people to help you with your mission. I'm going to tell you a little story. When I was at a area nonprofit, I was in charge of our volunteer appreciation event, and it was an annual event that we did at a banquet hall. We had everybody come in. They had meals. We decorated it in a certain theme. We did awards on stage and had a full presentation that was fun and engaging. And at the end of the presentation that I did one year, I had one of my volunteers that was very engaged come up to me and say, Stephanie, you look like you had so much fun doing this program in this event. And he hit the nail on the head. I had a blast. We did mock awards, we did appreciation for service years, we did appreciation for dollars raised, we did our appreciation for the most issues somebody had to work through at the event. It was just so much fun. We are thanking people who are genuinely giving up their time. Everybody is incredibly busy these days. So when somebody says, let me give you a slice of my life to help your organization's mission do more, that's like gold. That truly is so valuable. And I think sometimes us as busy nonprofit professionals, we can lose sight of that. Also, don't forget your board members or volunteers too. Often we go to them for a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of big issues to deal with, a lot of dollars to raise and introductions to make. And sometimes I think as nonprofit professionals, we forget that they're volunteers too. So make sure you're treating your board members with as much love as you're treating the people that are coming in to help you on a regular basis. So, a couple of my favorite tips that I've learned over the years to properly engage volunteers is first and foremost, find a task and responsibility that they enjoy and want to do and speaks to their skill set. The first time I ever volunteered for a nonprofit organization, I walked in the door. I was incredibly passionate about their mission. Later on, I would come to work for this organization full time. But my first opportunity, they said, Stephanie, will you be our sponsorship chair for our event? I had no idea what that even meant, let alone knowing if my skill set would match. I accepted it blindly. It worked out okay, but it wasn't the best that I could possibly offer that organization. So talk with your volunteers and learn about what they love. What is their passion? What is their skill set? What would they like to bring to the table and spend their time doing? Because when you match it properly, you're going to get so much more out of that experience on both sides of the relationship. My other tip is to give your volunteers the authority to execute the tasks that you've asked them to do. So you need to give them all of the preparation that's necessary to be successful. Give them the tools and the information they need, and then let them do it. Let them go out there and be themselves and take authority over the situation. They're an extension of your staff. They're an extension of your resources, and they certainly are smart, wonderful, capable, incredible folks who can do so much more than I think sometimes we allow them to do. I have a great example of this. I was running a walk campaign years ago, and I am a perfectionist. So I am very particular how I like things to be run at an event. Anybody who's worked with me is probably rolling their eyes because it can be irritating sometimes. I recognize that and I'm sorry. But I needed more hands to do the work at the level at which I expected. And so I couldn't just tell the team, hey, we have to hire a bunch more staff. I solicited my volunteers. I gave them all of the tools and resources to be successful, and I assigned every single one of them their own individual area to oversee, execute, and be responsible for. I can't even begin to tell you how wonderful that experience was. Every one of them stepped up to the challenge. They problem solved when things came up. They executed their activities with complete excellence. And that event that I did year after year, it ran like a well-oiled machine because these volunteers are amazing. So give them the authority to execute the job that you need them to do. And the last tip that I have when you're working with volunteers is don't forget to say thank you. We have to make sure that we're treating our volunteers just as well as we're treating our donors that are writing large checks. These folks are giving of their time, and I would personally argue time is an even more valuable asset than funds. I know it is for me, and I know it is for a lot of other people as well. So make sure you're taking the time to properly recognize them, thank them, and invite them into other campaigns and activities where they can have more fun and do more things to enjoy the passion that they have for your organization. Don't just pigeonhole them into one activity. Talk with them as you're getting to know them and appreciating them and learn what they might enjoy engaging with. And a final tip I'm going to squeeze in there, even though I said the last one was my last tip, is to make sure you're graduating your volunteers through the process. Some groups are going to love folding envelopes for years. I've had groups that do that and say, Stephanie, I love coming in to fold envelopes. It gives me a time to socialize. It's a mindless activity that I can get through while I'm giving back. And that's great. We need those folks all the time. But you're also going to have volunteers that are going to want to grow with you as the organization grows. Make sure you talk with them and recognize that and grow them up through the system with you. They may be some of the very best board members you'll ever have, and they may be great advisory board members at some point as well as they continue on their journey. So make sure you're talking to each other. Have so much fun as you're doing this important work together. And make sure you appreciate your volunteers during Volunteer Appreciation Week in the month of April. Thank you so much. Have a great, beautiful day.